Nicole from Florida, are you there?
Yes.
You wanted to ask Minister Farrakhan.
Minister Farrakhan, why is it that you feel descendants of former slave owners need to pay for their forefathers' crimes when they have not committed crimes themselves?
You know, thank you for the question. I watched the trial of O.J. Simpson, and he won in the criminal court, and they found him not guilty, but they tried him again, and they found him responsible. The present generation of whites is absolutely not guilty of what was done by generations of whites hundreds of years ago. But I think the present generation of whites have to accept the responsibility to right the wrong, because the wrong that was done 400 years ago is the effect of it is still seen in the black community today. Who will accept the responsibility, live up to the challenge, and make America a better America, not just for whites, but for blacks and Native Americans, Hispanics, and poor people? That is the responsibility of the present generation of whites. And I would hope that if you accept this responsibility, that the guilt of what happened by the fathers, the sins of that will not be passed on to the children.
Incidentally, regarding reparations, present-day black folks would make their contribution to these reparations through their taxes. So black folks, tax money would be going to pay black folks reparations. And one of the criticisms of this reparations idea is that you can't separate black and white taxes. It's impossible.
Yeah, well, you ask the Japanese Americans who pay taxes.
For the Japanese brothers, you mean?
How are their reparations going to be paid? You ask the Jews who suffered in Germany, how are their reparations paid? Because I believe they pay taxes as well. We're not just talking about money, because there's an old saying that a fool and his money will soon part. The Bible says, my people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge. There has to be a transfer of knowledge that would allow the black man and woman of America to heal from the condition imposed by 300 years of chattel slavery and 140 years of living under injustice. That has to be repaired. Not just money, but a transfer of knowledge. We need to talk about land. We need to talk about how we're going to build a future for our people. You just mentioned prison statistics and the injustice of it. You know, 20 years ago, Phil, when the business community began to move out of the inner cities because they felt that the inner cities would explode in racial unrest, when those businesses moved out and moved into foreign countries to give those jobs to a cheap labor market, many blacks and Hispanics in the inner cities lost their jobs, went on welfare, or began selling drugs or involving themselves in criminal enterprise or joining the armed forces of the United States so that they could make a living to feed their families. This is why there's such an imbalance in the prison population, because job opportunities are not there, and we have not been sufficiently taught how to use our knowledge to do something constructive for ourselves. And that's the value of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.